Pınar Debiasio, and I'm a jeweler based in London. I'm coming from a family of jewelers, and many men in my mother's family were traditional jewelers. They were master jewelers. So we always been a type of family that when someone hands us a piece of jewelry, say it's a brooch, we always take turn it the back to see how it is constructed, how it is made, how is the craftsmanship. Or say if someone's entering the room, the first thing we focus is the jewelry the person is wearing. I didn't learn the craft directly from them. It was regarded in my family as a men's job. So they thought that working in workshops like this, dirty workshops, or ruining our hands, our nails, were not really ladylike. So they were not encouraging us to take up these skills from them. They were directing us to other occupations. So in the first place, I studied psychology and I worked as a psychologist for over a decade. But I always had this desire to be a creative. There is a lot in common actually with jewelry making and also being a psychologist. For both of them, you need to be a good listener, you need to observe well people and everything happening around you, and you need to be patient. My inflow pieces, they are bold, fluid, sculptural, tactile pieces. And the inspiration for them, for these fluid shapes, are actually coming from another fluid thing. It is coming from liquid lipstick. It was the very first weeks of London lockdown when the COVID struck, and we were all forced to stay in our houses. We were isolated. And quite interestingly, back then, now it is unimaginable, but back then the liquids in any form were something very terrifying, and we were advised to keep away from them. It all started as a happy accident, let's say. By dripping little liquid lipstick on a piece of paper, I find out that I quite like these shapes are forming by that, and then I started experimenting with it. I started dripping different kinds of liquids, nail polish and then melted wax, also some paint as well. I dripped them on a piece of paper, then I started distorting the shapes and playing with the idea. Then I play with the idea of repetition or the scale. I made these shapes form, say 10 times bigger, 5 times bigger, and I tried to see how do they interact with each other, how do they look next to each other, and to try to come up with different shapes based on them, started making drawings. And once I was happy with the shapes I created, I am usually on my design process making a paper version of the jewelry, and I tried this paper version on my body to see how it looks on the body actually, if it works. And then I sometimes also make 3D versions of these pieces in soft clay, and once I'm happy, I start carving these shapes on hard wax, blue wax, and then it is getting casted in recycled sterling silver with the technique of lost wax casting, which is an ancient jewelry making technique. But when I'm making, I'm starting with a plan, but also during making, I let my hands, say also tools or the materials, to dictate me or to suggest me to go another way. Sometimes you start making a piece with a plan on your head, but while making, for example, when I'm carving my fluid shapes, if I go a few millimeters deeper at a curve, they become completely different. So I love this freedom and the fluidity of the process itself as well. My favorite piece in the collection is actually my all that jazz earrings. They are big statement earrings and made from recycled sterling silver, and they have freshwater pearls, which I love. Every freshwater pearl is different, so every pair is going to be slightly different than each other. And they are big earrings, but light enough to wear all day long and make your statement. They have a very fine satin finish, and when you are holding the piece in your hand, it is catching the light from every different angle differently, so it almost looks like when you are turning it around that it is dancing. So I feel my design style is simple minimalistic and also understated as well. But at the same time, it is also bold and eye-catching. So it is somehow extreme opposites exist together, which I feel it's also part of my character. So when you design, what inside of you comes out.